I decided to finally write this down because of the news report I saw 2 nights ago. 5 college students from Appalachian State vanished somewhere deep in the Pisgah National Forest, right around the Shining Rock Wilderness area. The rangers are blaming early snow, thin ice on the creeks, maybe a rogue black bear that hasn't gone into hibernation yet. They always blame something normal. But I know what's really out there, because 8 years ago, almost to the week, I lost a weekend and almost lost my mind in those exact same mountains. I live in Colorado now, 3,000 miles away from any Appalachian ridgeline, and I still wake up some nights smelling wet goat hair and old blood. The 5 of us who went and swore we would never speak of it again. We promised each other we would pretend it was just a group hallucination brought on by exhaustion, bad water, and too much cheap bourbon. But people are missing again, and silence feels like helping whatever is out there hunt the next group. It was the first Friday in October 2017. I was 25 years old, stuck in a soul-crushing warehouse job outside Charlotte, North Carolina, living in a rundown house with 4 other people and 1 working bathroom. My best friend Logan had been planning this trip for months. Logan was the kind of guy who lived for abandoned places, the more forbidden the better. Old textile mills, condemned hospitals, shut down amusement parks, anywhere the world had walked away and let rust and vines take over. This time he swore he had found gold, a cluster of long-forgotten civilian conservation corps work camps built in the 1930s, deep inside Pisgah, abandoned when the money ran out and the forest swallowed everything whole. Cabins, stone chimneys, even an old sawmill foundation, all supposedly untouched since World War II. There were 5 of us piling into 2 cars that evening. Logan and I had known each other since 7th grade. He was the planner, the one who brought topo maps, 3 headlamps, and a first aid kit the size of a lunchbox. Dylan was coming for the photographs. He was trying to build a portfolio of American Decay for some art school application and didn't believe in anything he couldn't capture and focus. Austin was the human mood lifter. He could turn terror into laughter faster than anyone I've ever met. And then there was Hunter. Hunter worked with Logan at the climbing gym in Charlotte, quiet, competent, the kind of guy who never panicked, who always knew which knot to tie and which way was downhill. I only knew him casually before the trip, but by the end I would know him better than anyone else on earth, and wish I didn't. We left Charlotte around 6, windows down, music loud, coolers full of beer and steaks rattling in the back. The drive west took us up through Asheville and then deeper, onto twisting mountain roads where the pavement narrowed and the guardrails disappeared. The last 40 minutes were on Forest Service Road 477, a gravel track that hadn't seen a grader in years. We parked at a chain gate just after full dark, shouldered our packs, and hiked in about 3/4 of a mile along an old logging spur until we found a flat bench above a small creek. The air was sharp with that October bite, the kind that makes your lungs happy to be alive. Setting up camp took longer than usual because we were already half drunk on freedom and cheap gas station whiskey. 2 3-person tents, 1 big tarp for the kitchen area, a fire ring we built from creek stones. By the time the fire was roaring it was 10 o'clock and the stars were so thick it felt like you could reach up and grab a handful. We cooked ribeyes in a cast iron skillet, passed a bottle of Evan Williams, and let the week melt away. That was when Austin decided to ruin the mood in the best possible way. "You guys know we're in Goatman territory right now, right?" he said, holding a stick into the flames until the end glowed orange. "Like, literal Goatman country." Dylan groaned loud enough to scare an owl. "Please not this again." "No, for real," Austin went on, eyes shining in the firelight. "This exact part of Pisgah. Old-timers up around Brevard still talk about it. Back in the 70s loggers would find whole trees shredded like something with claws the size of Bowie knives went to town on them. And the truckers on Old Highway 64 used to see him standing in the middle of the road at 3 in the morning holding a double-bit axe. Cars would lock up brakes, slide into the ditch, and when the wrecker got there the roofs would be peeled open like sardine cans and there'd be black goat hair stuck in the metal. "Coarse black hair," Logan corrected with a grin. And the axe makes this sound like a butcher sharpening steel on asphalt when he drags it behind him. Total urban legend, Dylan said, but he scooted a little closer to the fire. Maybe, Austin allowed. But there's newer stories too. Hikers on the Art Loeb Trail hear their names called from way off in the laurel slicks, voices that sound exactly like their mom or their girlfriend or their dead best friend. And if they follow the voice, he trailed off and made a slicing motion across his throat. Hunter poked the fire with a green stick, sending up a column of sparks. So what is he supposed to be? Some kind of Appalachian skinwalker? A demon? A government experiment that escaped from the old CCC camp? Austin leaned forward, voice dropping to that perfect campfire whisper. Some say he's older than the Cherokee, older than the mountains themselves. Some say he's what happens when something learns to wear people the way we wear coats. And once it learns your voice, your walk, the way you laugh at dumb jokes, it can be you better than you can. We all laughed, because that's the rule. You laugh so the dark knows you're not afraid. We drank more, told dirtier jokes, eventually crawled into sleeping bags around midnight. The forest was loud with normal night sounds, creek murmur, wind in the hemlocks, a bar owl asking who cooks for you. I fell asleep fast and slept hard. Saturday morning was perfect. Cold enough that the frost sparkled on the tents, warm enough once the sun cleared the ridge that we were down to t-shirts by 9. We brewed cowboy coffee in a soot-black percolator, ate oatmeal mixed with brown sugar and whatever whiskey was left in the bottle. Then we broke camp halfway, left the tent standing, packed day bags with water, snacks, cameras, and Logan's maps, and headed out to find his lost civilization. We found it around 11. First just a stone chimney standing alone like a monument, then the foundation of a mess hall, then a whole row of cabin footprints filled with golden leaves. One building still had most of its roof, a long barracks with hand-hewn chestnut beams and rusted bunk bed frames tangled in Virginia creeper. Dylan was in absolute heaven, shooting black and white film like he was documenting the end of the world. We climbed, explored, pried open rusted lockers, found old Coke bottles and a 1943 penny fused to a floorboard. It felt like we owned the forest. By 4 o'clock the light was turning that heavy gold that means the day is running out. We were hiking back along a faint roadbed when Dylan suddenly stopped. Holy shit. Guys, look. Off to our right, half hidden by a wall of rhododendron thicker than any I'd ever seen, sat a lone cabin. Not CCC work, something older, hand-split logs dovetailed at the corners, a fieldstone chimney, tin roof sagging but still intact. The windows were just black holes. No trail led to it. It looked like the forest had grown up around it on purpose to hide it. Dylan was already moving. I need this before the light dies. 10 minutes, tops. Logan checked his phone. 1 bar, 15% battery. Sun drops behind the ridge in 25. We gotta be fast. We pushed through the brush. Up close the cabin was bigger than it looked, 20 by 30 at least, built solid like someone meant it to last forever. The door hung open on leather hinges gone stiff with age. Inside smelled wrong immediately, wet dog and pennies and something sweet rotten underneath. Dylan stepped in first, camera up. The rest of us followed like ducklings. The single big room was stripped bare except for the stone hearth. The hearth was full of bones. Not deer bones, not bear, something in between. Skulls too narrow, ribs too delicate, legs too thick. They were arranged in careful spirals, cracked open and hollowed out like something had been sucking the marrow for years. Coarse black hair, wavy and greasy, clung to the walls in fist-sized clumps, stuck there with a dark resin that caught the light like old blood. Deep claw marks scored the logs in sets of 5, so deep the wood had curled back like flower petals. Hunter's voice was barely above a whisper. We need to leave. Right now. Dylan's flash kept popping, white bursts that made the shadows jump. Just a couple more. Something moved in the far corner, a shift of darkness that didn't match the light. A low sound rolled out of the back room we couldn't see, part bleat, part human laugh, all wrong. The temperature dropped 20 degrees in a heartbeat. Our breath plumed white. We ran. Didn't stop until we hit the old roadbed, hearts hammering so hard we could taste metal. Nobody spoke the whole hike back. The forest felt pressed in close, branches reaching like they wanted to grab ankles. By the time we stumbled into camp, the sun was gone and the fire was cold ash. We got it roaring again, cooked mountain house lasagna that tasted like cardboard, tried to laugh it off. Squatter's den. Bear kill pile. Mass hysteria. Anything but what our guts knew it was. But the smell followed us home. It started as a whiff on the breeze, wet goat and slaughterhouse and old pennies. Then it thickened, moving around the clearing just beyond the firelight like a living thing. We grabbed headlamps, shone them into the trees, saw nothing but trunks and darkness. Something heavy walked parallel to the camp, slow, deliberate, snapping branches the size of my wrist like kindling. Around 10:30 Austin went completely still. "Did you hear that?" We hadn't. He stood up slow. "That was my little sister. Clear as day." She said, "Austin, come here, I'm hurt." We told him it was the wind. Then I heard my grandmother, dead 6 years now, calling from the uphill side exactly the way she used to call me and from playing when supper was ready. Logan heard his college roommate who overdosed junior year. Dylan heard his father who hasn't spoken to him since he came out at 19. Hunter heard his little brother who drowned in the Catawba River when they were kids. The voices came from every direction, perfect copies, warm, alive, impossible. They asked us to come closer. They said they were cold. They said they needed help and to hurry. We fed the fire everything we had, tent stakes, extra firewood, even a folding chair when we ran out of branches. We armed ourselves with whatever we could find, Logan's camp axe, hunting knives, a flare gun, heavy mag-light flashlights that could double as clubs. We took shifts, 2 awake, 3 trying to sleep with one eye open. At one point Dylan swept his headlamp across the tree lane and the beam froze on something standing perfectly still between 2 hemlocks maybe 50 yards out. Taller than any man should be, shoulders too wide, neck too thick, head wrong. Curved horns caught the light like polished obsidian. Eyes reflected back flat and yellow, no soul behind them. It didn't move. Just watched. Then Dylan's hand shook and the light slid off it and it was gone. The night lasted 1,000 years. Around 2:30 the voices changed. They started crying. Real, wrenching sobs that sounded like children lost in the dark. Once something walked right up to the edge of the firelight and breathed, a wet bellow sound that smelled like a butcher shop in July. The smell rolled over us so thick we gagged and retched. Then silence. Complete, sudden, suffocating silence. No insects, no creak, no wind. Just the pop of burning pine in our own hearts. Dawn came the way it does after the worst night of your life, slow, reluctant, gray at first, then pink, then full gold. Birds started singing like someone flipped a switch. The forest looked innocent again. We tore camp down in a blind panic, tents half collapsed, sleeping bags crammed into stuff sacks any old way, cook kit thrown into a duffel still dirty. We hiked out fast, bunching up on the trail because nobody wanted to be last in line. We reached the cars. Logan's silver Tacoma and Dylan's green Subaru, exactly where we left them, covered in a light frost. We loaded gear like our lives depended on it, because they had. Doors slammed. Engines turned over. Relief hit so hard my knees almost buckled. I did a head count out of habit. 5. Logan driving, Austin shotgun, me in the back seat of the Tacoma. Dylan and Hunter in the Subaru behind us. 5 souls. Same number that went in. Everything was fine. The drive out took forever and no time at all. We hit pavement, then the little town of Brevard, then a Shell station with bright fluorescent lights and the smell of stale coffee that felt like heaven. Everyone piled inside for bathrooms and caffeine. I stood at the coffee island pouring hazelnut creamer with shaking hands and watched my friends move around the store like normal human beings. But something itched at the base of my skull, a wrong note in a song you almost know by heart. 10 minutes later we took over a big corner booth at the Morning Star Diner, chrome and checkered floors and a waitress named Darlene who called everybody Han. We ordered everything, pancakes taller than my fist, country ham, biscuits swimming in gravy, endless coffee. The normalcy of it was overwhelming. Conversation started light, how bad we all smelled, how much sleep we needed. Then it turned to the night. Dylan insisted the silhouette had been a bear standing upright. Logan argued about the voices. Nobody had an answer for how something could imitate a dead grandmother's exact North Carolina mountain accent. Hunter had been quiet, cutting his pancakes into perfect squares with surgical precision. Then he spoke up for the first time all morning. The worst part was around 2:45 when it got right up against the tents while Austin was on watch. I thought it was gonna rip straight through the nylon and grab someone. I set my fork down very carefully. Hunter, you weren't at the tents then. You went down to the creek to filter more water. You were gone almost 15 minutes. We were freaking out. He smiled. Not his normal half-smile that crinkled the corners of his eyes. This one showed too many teeth and didn't reach anywhere else. No, man, he said calmly. I was right there the whole time. Austin frowned, trying to rewind the night in his head. Logan looked confused. He'd been half asleep for most of his shift. I stared at Hunter. Same red Patagonia fleece. Same scar on his left hand from a climbing fall. Same beard. But the way he held his coffee mug was wrong, pinky curled too elegantly. The way he blinked was off by half a second. And when the morning light hit his eyes from the side there was no reflection, just flat black that swallowed the light whole. I excused myself to the bathroom. Locked the stall, leaned over the sink, splashed cold water on my face until my skin burned. Counted again in the cracked mirror. 5 went in. 5 sitting at the booth. Math was correct. Feeling was not. When I came back I tested him. Hey Hunter, remember that show at the Orange Peel in Asheville 2 years ago? The one where you crowd surfed and lost your shoe in the mosh pit? He blinked slow. Which one? The outdoor thing on the rooftop. You were so hammered you tried to fight the bouncer over a $10 cover charge. He laughed, but it came out wet, like it started somewhere deeper than a human throat. Oh yeah, that was wild. Hunter and I had never been to a single concert together in our lives. He hated crowds. I looked around the table. That's not Hunter. Dead silence. Silverware stopped moving. Logan reached across and put a hand on my forearm. Dude. You're exhausted. We all are. Lack of sleep does weird shit. Look at him, I whispered. Really look. They looked. They saw Hunter looking worried and confused and completely, 100% real. I stood up so fast the booth shook. I need air. Outside I leaned against Logan's Tacoma sucking wine like I'd been underwater for hours. The thing that lived in that bone-filled cabin was sitting 10 feet away from me eating pancakes with my friends. And the real Hunter was still back in the forest, hurt or worse. The diner door jingled. All 4 of them walked out slow, hands visible like I was a spooked horse. We're worried about you, man, Logan said gently. Let's just go home. Sleep for 3 days. You'll feel better. I have to go back, I said. My voice cracked. I left something at camp. Important. Dylan barked a laugh that turned into a cough. You're out of your damn mind. Then I'll go alone. We argued in the parking lot for 20 solid minutes while truckers came and went and Darlene watched through the window smoking a cigarette. Finally Logan threw his hands up. "Fine. I'll go with you. Quick in and out, you grab whatever the hell you forgot, we leave." "That's it. I'll come too," Not Hunter said softly, smiling that too wide smile. Safety in numbers, right? Every hair on my body stood up. Logan was too tired and too worried about me to notice the way I stared at him begging with my eyes. Dylan and Austin stayed behind with the Subaru and strict instructions to call the Rangers if we weren't back in 2 hours. So 3 of us drove back up into the mountains. Me in the passenger seat trying not to shake apart, Logan driving white-knuckled, and the thing wearing Hunter's face sitting calm and quiet in the back watching the scenery roll by like a tourist on vacation. The Forest Service road felt longer this time. Every mile marker a countdown. When we parked at the gate the forest was silent. No birds. No wind. Just the tick of the cooling engine and our breathing. Logan grabbed a water bottle and his bear spray. "Lead the way, buddy. Let's get this over with." I started walking. The fake Hunter followed 10 feet behind, footsteps perfectly silent on the leaves. We reached the clearing 20 minutes later. Cold fire pit full of gray ash. Trampled grass already springing back. No sign of the terror that had happened here less than 8 hours ago. "So where is it?" Logan asked, voice tight. I pretended to search, kicking at leaf litter, moving in slow circles that took us deeper into the trees, farther from the trail, farther from help. The thing followed without hurry, patient as death. I found the tracks 25 minutes in, huge cloven hoof prints pressed 6 inches deep into a patch of mud under a downed hemlock. The edges were still sharp, no rain or wind to soften them. They led downhill toward a ravine none of us had noticed before, a slash in the earth choked with laurel and shadow. Logan crouched beside me, face pale. "What the hell makes a track like that? Elk don't have split hooves." Before I could answer we heard it, weak, broken crying from the bottom of the ravine, human and hurt and fading fast. We scrambled down the slope using roots and rocks as handholds, dirt pouring into our collars. Halfway down my foot slipped and I slid 10 feet on my ass before catching a sapling. At the bottom the air was colder, wet, smelling of leaf mold and old blood. We found him 20 yards downstream, half buried under leaves and laurel branches like something tried to hide its leftovers. The real Hunter. Leg bent wrong below the knee, bone poking through skin in a white gleam, face the color of notebook paper, lips cracked and bleeding. When he saw me his eyes filled with tears that cut tracks through the dirt on his cheeks. "It took me," he rasped, voice barely there. "Last night when I went for water. Grabbed me from behind so fast I couldn't even scream. Dragged me for hours. I think it was tasting me. Deciding." I looked up the ravine wall. The fake Hunter stood at the very top, motionless, staring down. Then its posture shifted. Slow at first, shoulders rolling forward like a wolf dropping to all fours, spine curving, neck thickening. The red fleece split at the seams as muscle and bone rearranged themselves underneath with soft wet popping sounds. The face stretched, nose and jaw pushing out into a long goat-like snout, horns punching through the scalp in spirals of keratin and blood. In less than 10 seconds the thing that had ordered scrambled eggs with us an hour ago was gone, and something ancient and black-furred stared down with forward-facing predator eyes the color of old gold. Logan made a sound like a kicked dog. Jesus jumped up Christ. It started down the ravine wall slow, taking its time, because it knew the terrain and we didn't, because this was its church and we were trespassers. We hauled Hunter up between us and ran. He screamed when his broken leg dragged across roots, but we didn't stop. The ravine twisted like a drunk snake. We followed the creek bed, splashing through ice-cold water that came up to our knees, praying for any branch that led uphill toward roads or trails or people. The goat man herded us. It would vanish for minutes, then appear 50 yards ahead, blocking the only clear path, forcing us left or right into thicker brush. Once it let us get within 20 feet before stepping aside at the last second, close enough that I smelled its breath, rancid meat, and hot iron. It was playing with its food. Hunter's weight got heavier with every minute. His head lolled against my shoulder, breath shallow and fast. We ducked under a fallen hemlock and lowered him behind it, covering him with armfuls of leaves and branches as best we could. Logan picked up a rock the size of a cantaloupe. I found a wrist-thick oak branch still green enough to swing like a baseball bat. The goat man stepped into the creek bed 20 feet away and waited, head cocked like it was curious what we thought we were going to do. It was 8 feet tall at least, maybe 9. Black fur matted with old gore, shoulders wider than a refrigerator, horns thick as my forearms sweeping back in perfect lethal curves. Its legs were reverse-jointed like a goat's, but the feet were almost human, splayed toes with black claws. When it breathed, the air steamed in the cold. It charged. Logan met it first. The impact lifted him off his feet and drove him backward into the creek with a splash that threw water 10 feet high. I heard ribs crack like green wood. Logan screamed once, high an animal, then tried to wrap his arms around the thing's neck from behind. I swung the oak branch with everything I had left. Wood met skull with a sound like a home run crack at a baseball game. The branch exploded into splinters that rained down like kindling. The goat man staggered one step, shook its head, then turned to me with eyes that held every bad thing that ever happened in these mountains. Its breath steamed in my face, hot and intimate. I saw its teeth, too many, too sharp, yellowed like old piano keys. Logan tackled it from the side with a roar that didn't sound human anymore. Both of them crashed into a birch tree hard enough to strip the bark in a long white scar. Logan was bleeding from his scalp, his mouth, his chest, but he held on, arms locked around the thing's torso, legs kicking for purchase in the mud. "Gio," he screamed at me, voice raw. "Get Hunter and fucking run." I ran. I threw Hunter over my shoulder in a fireman's carry and staggered away while Logan's screams rose behind me, higher, higher, then cut off with a wet sound I will hear on my deathbed. I didn't look back. My legs were jelly, lungs fire, Hunter's blood soaking warm down my back. I followed the creek until my vision tunneled, until I couldn't hear anything over my own sobbing breath and the crash of branches. Then suddenly the ravine opened up and there was gravel under my boots. Beautiful man-made Forest Service gravel. I collapsed in the middle of the road on my knees. Hunter slid off my shoulder and lay still. The goat man stepped out of the tree lean 30 yards back, right where the trees ended and the road began. It stood at the edge of the pavement and would not cross. Just watched me with those ancient gold eyes. Then it tilted its head, almost gentle, and melted backward into the green like smoke. A white Forest Service pickup came around the bend 5 minutes later. The ranger inside slammed on brakes when he saw us. He was out of the truck before it stopped rocking, radio already to his mouth calling for medevac, asking questions I couldn't answer yet. They life-flighted Hunter to Mission Hospital in Asheville. Compound femur fracture, internal bleeding, hypothermia, shock. I had 3 cracked ribs, a mild concussion, more stitches than I could count, and a new address in Colorado the minute I was discharged. The police took my statement 3 times. I told them bear attack. I told them Logan was still out there somewhere. They sent search teams with dogs and helicopters for 4 days. They found Logan at the Morning Star Diner in Brevard, sitting in the same booth drinking coffee with Dylan and Austin. He looked up when the deputies walked in, confused but calm, asked what all the fuss was about. Said he'd been waiting hours for me and the other Hunter to get back from whatever insane side quest I'd dragged him on. I saw him later that day in the hospital hallway. Same smile. Same voice. Same everything. Except sometimes when the light hits wrong I swear his shadow has horns. Hunter recovered. Walks with a permanent limp now and can predict rain 3 days out with his leg, but he's alive. The others think I had a psychotic break from lack of sleep and altitude and terror. They tease me about my imaginary bear fight. Logan acts like nothing happened. Sometimes he texts me at 3 in the morning just to say, "Hey, are you okay?" And I can't bring myself to answer. I moved west the next month. I don't camp anymore. I don't even like driving past national forest signs. But every October the news comes, another group missing in Pisgah. Another search that finds tents standing open, food still on the picnic table, no blood, no struggle, just gone. And I wonder which one of my friends is still out there wearing a borrowed face, waiting for the next fire to burn low and the voices to start calling from the dark. Stay out of the deep woods, y'all. Some things were never meant to be found.